Good morning, friends. How are you? Esther is here and my husband online. So we are here. We are back to talk to you as we usually do every Saturday at 7 a.m. UK time. Sister June, how are you? Good morning. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Fred, thank you. You're welcome. Good morning. How was your week? Please tell us where you're calling from. Where you're watching from, so that people can know. It's usually helpful. And how was your week? How are you today? So I came in a bit early just to have time to greet people. Michael to Kashava, you're welcome. Hi everyone. So it's Esther here, and yes, we are back as usual. You're welcome. June is saying I'm watching from UK. Thank you. Oh, June, we met someone from Tanzania. Ah, he was telling us about the work they are doing there with the youth. So maybe we'll get time and connect you to him. If you see him, he's on the platform, usually on the platform, Joseph Tumushabe. He's Ugandan living in TZ. So I thought you would find that interesting, and yeah. So thank you everyone for your contributions for last week. Isaac, you're welcome. From last week when we did a question and answer session, many of you sent your questions in, you commented. It was really very educative. We were learning from each other. So thank you for being proactive. Thank you for contributing, for writing your experiences so that people can learn from you. Just hope that God will always send these messages to the right people who need them at a particular time. Brother Animation, sorry if I've pronounced it wrongly. You're welcome. Brother Henry Wandera, thank you for joining us. So thank you everyone. Isaac Mugume, you're welcome. How are you? Brother Jopara, you're welcome. How are you? Where are you calling from? Where are you watching us from? Let us know where you're watching. To be nice to know where people are. Yeah. So yeah, this is another lovely weekend, and today we are going to look at another topic. Yeah, so this topic is really for everyone. You know, we are trying to get in as different topics and have a variety of topics that can bless everyone else. So it's still addressing, you know, single people and about stigmatization, but it's generally everyone. Isaac is watching us from USA. You're welcome. Oh, what's the time there now? It must be maybe 12 midnight or 2. Thank you for joining us. Sister Yinka Adeomo, thank you for joining us. Brother Tamale, you're welcome. Isaac is from Dallas, Texas. Thank you. Brother Dario, you're welcome. So our topic is interesting today, adding value to yourself. Please get me right. I'm not saying your life has no value. No. I'll explain where I'm coming from in this context. And please write your comments. Let's interact together. Let it be a discussion, interactive session. Okay. Dario is saying he loves my voice. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, adding value to yourself or to myself. What do I mean by this? It's 7. Sorry, I'm trying to manage my time. That's why I have an alarm here. Yeah, excuse me. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so adding value to myself or to yourself in this context simply means improving myself in character, in skills, in achievement, in goals, anything. Just adding something to myself to become better, adding something that will take me to another step. You know, in life, we don't expect to stay on one step all the time, you know. There's always another step you can take and advance. And the more you go, the more you climb, the more you realize you have to to climb even more steps, because there are other people who know more about, know more than you, are more experienced than you. So you learn from them and climb up another topic, another step. All right. So, that's what we are talking about today. And the power to really bring about a change in our lives is in our hands. Not only our hands, but also in our mind. You know, many times we grow up not being taught to use our minds. Okay, I hope that this session will help us, will awaken us to really use those tools, our hands and our minds. Okay, so let's use them. So here what I'm trying to say is that we need to develop ourselves into being visionary people, wherever status you are, whether married or single, wherever stage you are in life, and also to be one who has written their vision down. Not only I have a vision, I have a vision. Clement, you're welcome. Dario is watching from Dubai. Wow, you're welcome. Shazio, you're welcome. Lisa, how are you? All right, you're welcome. Good morning or good night, wherever, whichever. Okay, so we're talking about being visionary as part of adding value to our lives. So here I'm saying that you write your goal down and be oriented by it in every activity you undertake, and also be achievement driven. You know, let every day, purpose in your life, that every day has to add something, some value in my life. It's not about waking up, having breakfast, going to work, coming down, sleeping, watching television, and that's it. What the activities I've done at work, have they added to me? The people I've interacted with, have I added something to them? Okay. The food I'm eating, is it adding something to me? Okay. The programs I'm watching on television, the teachings I'm listening to, are they adding something to my life? That's what I'm trying to get us to, into that place, okay? So let every day, every week, every month, and every year be having something that is adding to our lives, okay? So let every activity of the day bring you closer to your vision, okay? And this should be the driving force that gets us out of bed each morning. Good morning, Queen Amy Doris. Glad to see you here. All right, so thank you so much. Verunji Clement is saying it's a good topic. Thank you. I hope God's grace I'll be able to bring it out clearly. Okay, so please contribute, because I know many people on this platform are so more knowledgeable than I am. So let us learn together. So the first statement I put here, it was a quote I have here, is by Dr. Sandra Delager. He said that life is predictable. You can predict your life. Okay? It's no longer a case of saying, oh, my life is in God's hands. He will do. No, yes, your life is in God's hands, but He has given you all the resources you need, okay, to make it what you want it to be, to make it what He intended you to become. So He's given you that ability, that freedom, the mind resources, the creativity, your hands, your eyes, your skills, your intellect, all those things. God has given you provision to become the best, the maximum you can be on this earth. Okay, so you can predict that. And what do we mean by that statement, that life is predictable? It means that for every obedience or violation of a principle of life, there are consequences. For example, the reason I can predict that a person will be rich is because they are diligently following the laws of money. Okay? The reason why I can predict that after maybe 5 months I will harvest maize is because I am planting maize now. You see how life can be predictable? So that's from the law of reaping, sowing and reaping. Okay, so that is what we mean by life is predictable. Okay, and then the reason why you have a baby is that after 9 months, the baby will be mature enough to come out of the womb. So that's how we can predict life. Because life follows laws, principles in life. So okay, how do I add value to my life? I'm missing out comments there, but Jonah is writing that purpose and author is what every individual was created with. They are used through our vision. Exactly. She's trying to tell us that we all have a purpose in life. We are all walking authors in life, and this is what we need to use in our vision, in accomplishing those things that we want to accomplish. Brother Felix, good morning, sir. You're welcome. Oh, June meant authority, purpose and authority. Yeah, that's true. The first point I have here is drop the dependency and excuse mentality. Drop it. If you want to add value to your life, drop the dependency and excuse mentality. I have a team in Africa, in Uganda, so I interact with Ugandans all the time, and I'm always there most of the time. Not always, but I travel there. That's what I mean. But you meet people of different. For example, if I set up a meeting, people come late. Why are you late? The traffic. The traffic. My baby was crying. So there's always an excuse. Why didn't you do your assignment? You know what? We've been busy at church. We've been having pro-church programs. People have a master. They have PhD in giving excuses. And I said, these people. Yeah, sometimes the excuses are genuine, I understand. But it's like a custom. It's like a culture. They'll never blame themselves. It always has to be something else. If it's not the weather, it's the traffic. If it's not the traffic, the taxi. If it's not a taxi, it's the rain. Something. We have to develop ourselves to be people who are no excuse people. And that's how we can add value to our lives, okay? And the dependency mentality. I know sometimes it's attached to our culture, but it's really putting us back as a continent, as a people. For example, a grown-up man who is physically fit, he has both hands, both legs. Yeah, he's going around, having children every year, having children with different wives, and because he doesn't have a good job, he expects his brother, who is working in the town, to look after the children because, he has to look after the clan, if you know what I mean. That's it's very common in Africa, yeah. But now, of course, the brother would feel sorry and, okay, send something. But sometimes we do this to encourage people having a dependency mentality, being lazy, not being creative. You know what? I brought these children myself. I'm responsible for them. So somehow we are promoting irresponsibility in our lives. But if you want to be a person of value, be responsible for your own life. Drop the dependency mentality and also the excuses mentality. Okay? Number 2. Sam is saying excuses are losers. Please don't be one. Yeah, that is true. Number 2, pursue knowledge. Pursue knowledge. Sometimes we can be so comfortable. I have a bachelor's degree. That's enough. Let me look for a job. That's all I need. If you're a pastor, you went to a theological, college, you're pastoring. I know everything. I have a master's in theology. It's okay. I can't listen to any other pastor. I am okay. I have what I need to be a successful pastor. Be open up. Even that theological college, there are things you didn't learn. Be open to people. And also another time, what hinders us from getting more knowledge is because of that having what can I say? A biasness towards other people who are not like us. For example, if I look in my life, even though I know that the most challenges I've faced in my life have been caused by some of the Nigerians and all that. I'm sorry for, I don't want to offend everyone, but the people who have blessed me most in my life have been Nigerians, and I'm a Ugandan. So can you imagine? So if I had the mentality of saying, I don't deal with Nigerians, I don't associate with them, that I would have missed out on so much, on so many blessings. And guess what? My husband is Nigerian. God is a God of humor, you know what? Yeah, so I'm just saying that let us drop any barriers we put ourselves, the way we look at people. I can't learn from a child because I'm older. Who told you? A young child can see something you don't see, because we all have blind spots, okay? They can have a revelation that you didn't get. Let us be open to learn from people, whether they are younger, they are older, they are from different tribes, different nations. Let us be open. Let us open up, and that's how we can add value to ourselves. So I put here, become an authority in the area of your passion. So what I'm saying, that don't be comfortable where you are. Seek for knowledge. Go for master's degree. Go for PhD if you have the opportunity. Okay? And some of you would be saying, but I don't have the money, and I can't do anything. But you know what? There are resources you can read and listen to that will cost you almost nothing. You know? We have a lot of audio messages that can help pastors, anyone, be a better person. You know, they are on www.sundayadelajablog.com. Okay, so he has a SoundCloud channel where you can listen to audio messages, even download them for free. There are libraries around you for free. Please do your research. There's no excuse for lack of knowledge or ignorance. And our world is so blessed with IT and social media. On YouTube, you type in any topic, there are always resources for you to learn. Okay? So, also what can help us here on adding value to yourself is that when you're working, when you have an income, always a percentage of that income to self-development. Don't eat up all your money. Don't use it up all for bills. Bills will always be there. Let a portion of it, a percentage of it, be allocated for self-development. And use that budget, that pocket, that purse, that money we've set aside to buy books, to buy resources, to save up for a course that you need, and lots of things. Read books. Try to read books. Africa, especially Africans, they tell us that to hide anything from an African, you write it in a book, because they know we don't have a culture of reading. Let us disprove that, okay, and send that quote to the rubbish bin. Let us be people who are reading, because the more you read, the more you learn. And read books of all varieties, biographies of successful people. Learn from them, okay? Brother Daniel Winsor, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Nicholas, thank you for joining us. Wanji Nicoras. Okay, I thought I pronounced your name wrongly. So thank you for joining us. Okay, back to our topic. So the more you equip yourself with knowledge, the more useful you become in solving problems around you. Okay, so the reason why sometimes we cannot have ideas of solving problems because we're not reading, we're not equipping ourselves. Knowledge is power. All right. So another point, the third point, is continuous self-development. Okay. So this is sort of similar to the previous one of pursue knowledge, but continuous self-development is more of acquiring skills that you lack. Do you know what I associate with leaders in Uganda? People who are respected in communities. They are called pastors, apostles, community leaders, counselors, many. But you know what? Sometimes when you give them, there's an assignment to do, they can't even type. They don't know how to use Word. When they submit their some documents, it's like there are mistakes. They don't know how to use any spelling check and grammar tool. And these are our leaders. Can you imagine? So because sometimes we say, I have achieved this position, so there's nothing else to learn. No. Pick up a course. These courses are not so expensive. Go and register and do an IT course. Learn how to use the Microsoft package, all of it. because you never know, another door will open and you're already equipped and you're ready. So learn how to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, how to present things. You're adding value to yourself. All right? Okay. So, and that is how we are ready for all doors that come to us. When they open, we are ready for them. And many youths in Uganda always complain of joblessness. My problem with them is that they want shortcuts to success, okay, by avoiding the process itself, which is wrong. Shortcuts are never sustainable and are pitfalls. So take one step at a time by starting from something small. For example, you can, in your community, you can go around, knock on people's doors, offer to wash clothes for them, take the rubbish out for them, and clean the compound for them. That's how you can get an extra income. So you start small, okay? Let us be humble. You can make snacks, you know, things like that. Get water for them. Start small. And before you know it, if you're faithful in that, God will increase you. So let us not shy away from starting small. That is also part of adding value to yourself. So activate your creative abilities. Let us not be mentally lazy. And take time and think, okay, in this issue, no, what can I do? What can I solve? What are the problems around here? And you know it, an idea will just pop up. Why? Because you're activating your ability. But if you are not even trying, that means your resources of the mind will stay dormant. You know, it's until you work out your muscles, okay? Your muscles, that they become accustomed to doing sports. But if you're not exercising, you know what? Your muscles become flappy and they're not strong. But the more you exercise your mental capacity, the more activated it becomes, the stronger it becomes, and you get more ideas easily. So let's activate and switch on that resource that God gave us. Because He created us in His own image and in His likeness. That means if God is a creator, that means we too are creators. When last have you created something? Let's think about that. Okay? Okay, so next point. Self-evaluation. How to add value to ourselves. Self-evaluation. We all fall into the trap of noticing other people's shortcomings while neglecting our own. Okay? We add value to our lives by learning to be self-aware, taking time each month to ask ourselves, how did I do last month? Where do I get things wrong? Did I meet my target? If not, why? How can I do better? That is self-evaluation. You don't go through life as if everything is okay. I'm okay. Nothing is wrong. No, take time. It can be monthly. It can be weekly. Whichever time. It can be quarterly. Okay? Hope my volume is okay. Okay? Evaluate yourself. How am I doing? Because it's only when you are evaluating yourself that you know that you have an area to improve on. An area to work on. Otherwise, we walk into deception thinking that we are perfect. Yet we are not. Okay, so as human beings, we all have blind spots. So that is why we need people in our lives who can fiercely and in love point out where we are missing it, and those are the areas we need to work on, adding value to ourselves. So always reflect on your life experiences, all the situations you've gone through. For example, a failed relationship, why you didn't get that job, the teachings you listened to, etc. Then ask yourself, what lessons can I pick from this experience? Okay? What did I do that was wrong? Okay? And that helps you to become better, to put down points that you need to really work on. Okay? How best should I have handled this situation? What can I do better next time? Okay, I've already said it. Let us always learn from our own mistakes and even those of others. So the reason why sometimes God allows situations like that is because He's teaching us things. He's exposing us to be better, to be wiser, to be mature. So all mistakes, all experiences in life are not a waste. They are our assets. Why? Because we become wiser, and also we learn mistakes, we teach others, etc. So, and what I put here as self-evaluation, what motivates me sometimes, that when I look back and I see that, oh, in this area I've improved, you know what, I reward myself. That is a way of, valuing your life as well. That's a way of, because every good student deserves a reward, okay? So I can take myself out, I can go out for a meal, okay, go for a massage. Yes, so that motivates you to work harder and be better. So that's another tip that can help. Another point that can help us add value to our lives is establish personal values. Okay, what do I mean by this? What do I mean by this? What I mean is that as humans, we all have areas we need to improve upon. Okay? I'm missing people's comments. Sorry, I've not been reading your comments. Sammy is saying our minds are designed to input and produce, not to be dormant. Lisa is saying scripture paraphrase. Why do we see the spark in others' eye and not see the plan in ours? That's so true. June is saying, I started my sessions with 2 young people. God has been increasing them. That experience enabled me to write a training guide that youth leaders can use to train their young people. It will soon be published. Okay, that's good. Wow, that is great. So all people that are training young people, look out for that training guide. And Sammy said that let your blind spots be shown to you by reading and listening to development-driven sources. Yeah. Elisha, thank you for joining us. Okay, so our next point is establishing personal values. So I was saying that we need to be rich in virtues. Rich in virtues. For example, patience, humility, integrity, hospitality, generosity, cleanness, diligence, faithfulness, name it. So imagine if the majority of us were rich in these virtues. Do you think we'll have a heaven on earth? We would have brought heaven on earth, because all these things reflect the kingdom of God, the ambience of God, the characteristics of God, the orderliness in heaven, the cleanness, the excellence. So if we all work on ourselves, develop these things, add value to ourselves, be having personal values that run our lives, then guess what? There will be a heaven on earth here. Okay, so that's also another way of bringing the kingdom of God here. So here I put here that our continent of Africa is in a sorry state right now because of a lack of values. It is also depicted through our cultures and the way we live our lives generally. For example, the way we construct our roads lacks excellence. So, okay, that's why they do not last. Roads, buildings, and all that. The way women are degraded show a lack of respect and genuine love in our cultures. All right, because there is sometimes women are treated in Africa. That's not how women will be treated in heaven. All right, so there is a gap. The way we drive carelessly on the roads with vehicles that haven't been checked for ages, and potholes that are not repaired for ages, it just shows we don't value life. So even if someone else has an accident, it doesn't matter, as long as it's not my family. So that shows irresponsibility, indifference, selfishness, and all sorts of things. So that's why when we add value to ourselves, these things gradually disappear, because now people are becoming more responsible, more excellent, more loving towards their neighbor. Okay, so even the different things, problems we have, like tribalism, nepotism, okay, just shows that we're not a loving people. That's the truth, my friends. Okay, so all these problems in our society reveal that we are selfish. We have not been taught to evaluate ourselves, to walk by personal values in ourselves. So I have an example here. That I said here that good character cannot come on its own. You need to put a system in place for it. So good character cannot come on its own. You need to put a system in place. So you cannot just wake up, I'll pray about it, God will make me a generous person. No, you have to consciously and diligently, okay, work on that. For example, I put here a table, 2 examples that I can give. Okay, So in one, just say that, and first of all, if you're really, you have to have notes, you have to put things down, you have to have a system, you put it down, write it down and follow it. So an example of a system here is in a table. In this table, I've just put like 4 columns. So the first column has when, that is when I want to do a certain, concentrate on a certain topic. Okay, so that when is in weeks. The second column is a value that I want to focus on. You can pick values from 1 Corinthians 13, those who are Christians, or general values that you see that you're lacking. Okay, the third column is how to develop it, and the fourth column is the outcome I want to see in my life. So those are the 4 columns: when, value, how to develop it, outcome. Okay, so I have 2 examples. Week 1, for example, I've decided that, okay, from January next year, week 1, I want to focus on forgiveness. Why? Because I've realized I'm a bitter person. When people offend me, I find it difficult to forgive. I was watching a video, a YouTube video recently of someone who stole someone's taxi. Okay, and when they were interviewing him, he said, "No, the person who stole my taxi has to suffer. I want them to suffer, to feel the pain I feel." I said, hey. I watched another video. I saw the same thing. That man, he came to, just small thing, just went into my plantation and spoils my maize. I'll repay. You just see that people, we need to work on us. It's not a lot. I'm supposed to be crying. I'm sorry for laughing because it is sad. Anyway, let's go back to our video. So the first value, first week, forgiveness. Okay, learning to forgive others. That is my value. The third, okay, so the title, how to develop it. What am I going to do to develop forgiveness? An example here can be, first of all, listening to messages of love. A good link can be sandyadelajblog.com. Just type in forgiveness and you'll see different topics. Or go on the YouTube channel, Sandya Adelaja Official. Okay? Yeah. So how can I develop it? One of the points that can help you develop forgiveness so that you can add value to your life, become a better person, is understanding that every one of us makes mistakes. So you too who is saying that they have hurt you, you too have hurt others, knowingly or unknowingly. Okay? It is hard to keep it together sometimes. Anger management. Lisa, don't make me laugh. Okay, how can we develop forgiveness? Okay, first of all, you have to understand that any one of us makes mistakes, yet God continues to forgive us. You know, God does not. If you make a mistake, God does not pull down fire. You know, pour down fire on you, and you roasted. No. You know, your life continues. He forgives you. You know, He blesses you. That is what our God is. So if God is like that and we are made in His image, so why not I also extend the same love and forgiveness to other people? Because that's how life is. Humans are imperfect, and let us learn to let go and forgive each other. So that is how I can learn. Just understand, walking in that understanding alone can help you grow. Okay, in that area of forgiveness. Okay, and the outcome I'm looking for is to be a more loving and accepting person. You know, sometimes when you write down the outcome and you see it properly, okay, it drives you more. All right, so that's one example. So we've looked at week 1, the value is forgiveness. We've seen how to develop it and the outcome we want. Now week 2, I'm just going to give 2. So week 2, which is our last example, is punctuality. Okay, my brothers and sisters, Africans, we have PhD in not keeping time most of the time. Not everyone. Some Africans have worked on themselves very well. Thank God for that, and we are learning from them. But there's a lot of room for improvement. So week 2, let me work on punctuality. Okay, first of all, have you read about it? Do you know how to define what punctuality means? Have you watched other people talk about it? Maybe teachings. Look for teachings. My time is up. Look for teachings about that and read books about it and equip yourself with that area. And then say, how will I develop it? First of all, have a habit of engaging in advanced planning. Having a schedule for your day, having a schedule for activities, that helps you. So if you're planning to go for a meeting, look ahead and see, okay, at that time there's always traffic, so let me go a bit early and have some time, give it time so that I don't be late because of traffic. So you're learning to plan in advance, and you're giving that allowance of the unexpected as well. Expected or unexpected delays. So in that way, if you do that all the time, first of all, you realize that you're developing, you are improving. And guess what? It's not only you, okay? People are watching you. Your children are watching. Dad is always punctual. Dad, let me be like dad. Let me plan. How does he do it? Before you know it, you're influencing people. Your family is changing. Your society is changing. And that's how the nation can be transformed. Why? Because transformation begins from an individual. Work on yourself first. Be a role model, and then others will emulate. June is saying, I cannot emphasize enough on the aspect of starting small. It helps us to know areas to improve on ourselves. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so punctuality. And we are looking at how to develop it, plan in advance, including time for unexpected delays. And learn to be a person who is a non-excuse person. Okay. Oh, Laura Shorunke, you're welcome. How are you? Okay, be a non-excuse person. Don't always say, if I'm late, I'll tell them because it rained. If I'm late, no. Always plan in advance. If you can't make it, tell them in time that, I'm going to be late because of this, but I'll be there. So that shows that you can be dependable. And now we've gone to the outcome. Why? The outcome will be, I want to be a dependable person. I want to be a trusted person. I want to be a role model in my community and society. Okay? And also, another way to develop punctuality is eliminate time wasters in your life. So sometimes you're on your way to a certain place, and then someone stops you. I haven't seen you for a long time. How are you? When are we touching it? And then you go into another conversation. You're on your way somewhere. Learn to politely excuse yourself. Oh, I'm glad I met you. We'll catch up next time on my way. Okay, I won't want to be late. So leave me your number. I'll call you back. Bye-bye. Adding value to our lives. Okay, so that's it, my friends. Our time is gone. I hope it has been a blessing. So I want to read your comments. Lisa is saying, good character. Always keep your word. Exactly. No excuses. Who doesn't have excuses? Everyone has them. June is saying, to wait until everything is in place is wasting time and leads to self-underdevelopment. Exactly. All right. Sami said, excellence and truthful standards are what is needed to substitute for corrupt practices. Exactly. If we are all working on ourselves like this, guess what? Africa will be cleaned up. We'll all be cleaned up. And then we become, attractive people who are hotcakes, All right. Yeah. So even if you're single, you're married, whatever status you are, when you work on yourself, you will be noticed. You will be noticed. Everyone will want to be your friend because they see something unique with you. They want to learn from you. Sammy also wrote that, let your blind spots be sure. Okay, I read that one. So thank you, everyone. We'll talk more. And by the way, next week it will be my husband, my beloved husband, who will be sharing with us. So we say that, let us give people a variety, and also because we started this broadcast mainly targeting single women, how single women can overcome stigmatization. But we've noticed, and people writing to us, mostly men. And someone will say, why only women? Even men. So we decided to bring topics that are universal, that are unisex, and that will help everyone. So, and as a way, it's also part of overcoming stigmatization. So it's going to be an all-round kind of broadcast. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Have a blessed weekend. God bless you. Bye. Thank you for joining us.